Today, I met with the community managers of Clash of Clans, along with several other creators, people you might recognize like Clash Bashing, Coco, TK were there, even Big Country and Dark were both there, and we were able to ask them some questions about the game and maybe get kind of an insight to some of the things that might happen in the future. And there's definitely some big changes that are coming very soon. I'm going to just talk about three things because there were some things like skins and catching up for lower town halls that doesn't really interest, I think, a lot of people that view my stuff. So we're going to talk about Clan Wars, kind of an update to the video I had made a couple of weeks ago. We're going to talk about changes to Legend League, and then we're going to talk about the meta and kind of how the meta of the game is looking. So let's go ahead and talk about Clan Wars first. The first question I asked was, by the way, when there were questions being asked, it was like everybody's asking one question, then all of a sudden it was like, here's a question from Shock, here's a question from Shock, here's another question from Shock, here's another question from Shock. So I like kind of took over for a little bit, but Clan Wars. They said that they're not interested in removing the preparation day because I had suggested that we remove preparation day and make the clan castles filled almost like Legend League so that they're filled automatically. You just kind of have to set them beforehand. They said that they're not interested in removing preparation day because they view preparation day more so as a reminder to the player base that there is a war and to make sure mentally that you're going to get your attacks in. And they felt like if they removed preparation day, there would likely be a lot of missed attacks in Clan Wars. And they obviously don't want to cause any issues in the clans, so they're not going to remove the preparation day. They did hint that they're looking into maybe making searches for wars kind of like you can alter them a little bit, right? Like, so maybe you can search for a war where you can get 2 attacks in, or search for a war where you only get 1 attack, which might help with the ties and stuff. But we did talk about ties a little bit, and they're looking into ways where maybe they can do that, but they didn't really concrete say any solutions as of right now. So that's kind of the update with Clan War. They're kind of looking into it, but we don't have anything really concrete at the moment. The big changes that I can't really confirm anything, but kind of I can based on their reactions to my questions. I said, can we remove or can we introduce anonymity into Legend League? Like take away players' names? That was the first question I had. No, they're not going to remove names from Legend League. So that will always be there. They're not going to even, it sounded like they're just not even interested in having that at any point in time. The next question I had was, will we be allowed to ever get more than 8 attacks in a day? And like maybe just have the first 8 attacks count towards your trophy count, and then after that you just get hits maybe for loot, or even if there's not loot, just for practice, right? Because we want to get more hits in. And they said that they're going to make a huge announcement next week that will talk about changes to Legend League. And they didn't confirm that they would make that change or not, but it kind of sounded like you should get excited and keep an eye out for that change because maybe it'll happen. So I think so. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. Let me pull up another replay here and I'll keep going into Legend League because there is a couple more things I wanted to talk about. Okay, Legend League continued. Now, while they didn't give any concrete answers, their reactions to my questions kind of answered them a little bit. It's almost like if you ask somebody, did you steal something? They're like, well, I did not steal it. Well, okay, so you just answered no if you did, right? Anyway, with the Legend League, it sounded like the reason that they're not going to introduce anonymity into Legend League is because there's going to be a massive change to Legend League. They didn't really tell me exactly what that meant, but the feeling I got was that the changes that they're going to make to Legend League will kind of fix those issues maybe indirectly. So there's hope that those issues will be a little bit better than they are right now. So there is hope if you want to reduce the amount of win trading and things like that. So we'll just kind of have to see next week. I would imagine Tuesday. That's usually when they announce them, at least for me. They make like those big announcements like the sneak peeks and stuff. So that's maybe, if I had to guess, that's probably the day that we'll find out a little bit more about Legend League. And then lastly, let's talk about the meta. Several people, including myself, brought up that it seems like there's only 2 viable things that most of the player base is using right now, right? I'm seeing furnaces pop up a little bit more and Rocket Loom Fireball and stuff, but by far and away, Root Riders and Dragons are by far the 2 most common things. And they said that they are very well aware of that. Now, my feeling towards Clash of Clans as like a company and stuff up to this point has kind of been, they're just going to keep pushing out new stuff and it kind of goes where it goes, and they'll fix major issues, but everything else is kind of on the back burner. That was my feeling before this. Actually, during this whole entire interview with them, or the Q&A rather, I didn't get that feeling. What I got was they're very aware of the issues and they are really, really willing to sit down and try and fix them. And it just, the pace that they want to do it is kind of slow and steady and introduce small changes over a period of time because they don't want to do things rapidly and risk ruining something and making it really difficult, right? So the changes that they've made in the past to try and fix this issue, and they're very aware of it, and they want to make the meta more diverse and better, is they made like the changes to like the super hogs and the super bowlers, and they nerfed the scatter shot, and a couple of those changes, that was what, a couple of months ago or something. Now with the Springtrap rework, they're hoping that that will help indirectly nerf Root Riders and the Royal Champion charge enough to where it helps encourage people to use other attacks. But it sounded like even if that doesn't work, they would continue to find ways to make the meta a little bit more diverse. And they specifically mentioned wanting to make attacks like the Queen Charge good again. They specifically mentioned Queen Charge by name. They want that to become good again. So that was kind of exciting to hear. I would love for Queen Charges to become back and be popular again and at least be viable. That's what I want. It's just, it's so hard to make them work right now with how much splash damage and long range stuff there is at Town Hall 17. So those were kind of the big updates that we got right now. You can expect a large announcement with the rework, almost is what it sounds like, towards Legend League next week. I don't know what day exactly it is, and I don't know exactly what the changes are going to be, but it sounded like it's going to be a pretty major change, and very likely that we'll be able to attack more than 8 times a day, if I had to guess. So, wanted to give you guys an update. Also, maybe a couple other little things. I'll put one more replay on. This is going to be like the cosmetics and other things, so there will be one more replay talking about some of that stuff if you're interested. I also did ask about adding, like, if they're ever thinking about adding skins to units in the game, because I know like on the Chinese server, they have like skins for the dragons and the Root Riders, and they did say that that is something that they're testing out and trying to work towards, but it's not super high on the list of things in terms of the priority. They've got to make like 3D models or something for the troops, and then they can make the skins for them. But again, it sounded like that's not super high on the list of priority things. Also, adding more emotes into the game so that you can use them in the clan chat and stuff. They said that that's something that they could definitely do. They just need some suggestions or ideas for emotes and things. So if you guys have ideas for more emotes that you'd like to see, I want like a little fire emoji, right? Or maybe an Archer Queen foot. You just put an Archer Queen foot in the chat. And chat's gonna go downhill quick. Activity will go high, but yeah, it's just going to be all drooling, kind of brain dead content. So yeah, those were kind of the changes to that. They are going to add some of the existing skin sets, like with the minion prints. They're going to add like somebody mentioned the pixel set. They're going to catch up with the minion print skins and stuff. So that will get better, introduce more skins and things like that in the future. So yeah, that's kind of a smaller update for the skins and stuff. I'm not a huge cosmetic person, but I know that a lot of people are, so that might excite you a little bit. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys have any questions about things, I probably can't answer them because, one, I don't know if I can share things maybe with you guys, but two, I don't probably know myself. So we'll get a huge announcement up to for Legend League next week, which I'm actually really excited to hear what that is. But we'll see you guys next time.